That's right. Okay. Our next speaker is named Marsha Buffin. Is it Buffin? Buffin? Okay, excellent. So her nerd superpower is still developing in my evil lair. Not quite done yet. Her favorite nerd is Professor Roy Hinckley, a.k.a. the professor from Gilligan's Island. He's a great one. He's a really great professor. Her education is, she got an MA in library and information science from the University of South Florida. She got a BA in political science from Western Kentucky University. Works published. She's a contributor to, what does that say? Feklar's Hoof, a newsletter of the Klingon Legion of Assault Warriors. Yes, so good. Yes, she drinks a lot of prune juice. It's a warrior's drink. Warrior's and bloodline, right? Blood wine. She arrived in Alaska 2 years ago after an epic solo drive from Florida. She loves astronomy, military history, reading, and properly folded towels and underwear. She has exceeded 100 books read for this year's Goodreads challenge, but remembers very few of them. Too much prune juice. Has a small collection of chick tracts, R.I.P. Jack. I'm sure there's a story there, that were captured, stuck in library books. Leaves cookies, crumbs in bed, and has cats. So me and Rachel obviously love her. So her presentation, The Joy of Perfume. I tried to tie it to beer, alas I failed. Selecting it, understanding it. Without further ado, Marsha Buffin.
I have a minion to run the PowerPoint. Yes. So I can stare back there and go, one of my loves, perfume. What I am not your doctor, I'm not your allergist. If you have allergies, I'm so sorry about that. It's like being an alcoholic. You can't cope with it. Oh well. But in honor of what's going on in the background, the baseball game, I have the first of my very bad things to demonstrate why I am a nerd and not a jock. I have perfume samples. Yes. God bless you, Anchorage, Nordstrom's. So, perfume. Next slide, please. Perfume, one of my favorite movies. Perfume. It's like music you can smell and taste. It's like one of the joys of life. I would say like beer. I tried to make a connection between perfume and beer, but I don't like beer. So I'm sorry. However, for those of you who don't like perfume and like me who don't like beer, it's merely a question of you just haven't found the right one yet. I'm still looking for that good beer. I will find it, and then I will be one of you. So you got to expand your horizon. Next slide. Okay. For those of you who know, there are different types of perfume. If you say, I don't like it, it's because you sniffed the wrong one. Some of us had mothers in the 1980s. They wore Giorgio. They wore opium. If that stuff spilled in a train station, you wouldn't have to cut a path through there because people would get out of your way. It smelled so strong. That has kind of influenced people against perfume. Please don't do that. There is a perfume for every occasion. Do not wear opium to a fine dinner where people will be sniffing you over the beer and the wine all evening. So, just so you know, these are the color wheels of the perfume world. Florals, Orientals, woods, and what I call not just the fresh, but celebrity. This is Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. I know, but somewhere there is a 16-year-old who loves those people, and she should be, or he should be, indulged. Especially if maybe it's a guy who likes, I believe the current thing is Axe, body washes. Yeah, this is the bath and body world of the male world. we were all 16 once. We wanted to belong and cover up our teenage body hormones that were going crazy. Be understanding, they'll move on. So, but this is the color wheel of the world. And when you look at a perfume, sometimes it's best to find out what fragrance category you're looking at, because you may not like the florals. Those are the very sharp, that's especially the fruity florals. That's like cherry mixed with orange and rose that stinks up the whole mall. But there are some more subtle ones. There are a bunch of different kinds. Find out which category you don't like, then you can avoid it. There is a category, it's not really up there, part of it called the aldehydes. This is the first chemically oriented perfume that Chanel developed and became known for. So if you say,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Mike.
Mike. I'm sorry, I'll talk louder. I'm a librarian, I can say shush really good. So anyway, the aldehydes, if you've tried Chanel and don't like it, it's aldehydes. That's what they're known for. That's what all their fragrances have in it. It hits the back of your throat, you go, eh. Once you know that, you can avoid the whole category. Next slide, please. The florals. These are a couple of, if you've tried any of these, this is a floral. You know it when you smell it. It smells flowery. And for people who like nature, human beings do not normally smell like flowers. But if you're saying natural, maybe this is what you mean. Really natural for a human means sweat, underarm odor. Okay, so if that's what you like, there is a perfume for you. Because as we all know, perfume is about sex. Next one, please. The Orientals. Some of these are some nice ones of the current era. Opium from the 1980s, the ones taboo if your grandmother wore anything. That's the ones that clear the room when you're really wishing they were someplace else. But there are good ones also. Next slide. Fresh. Fresh is generally the men's stuff. Personally, if it's a woman's perfume, it wears a skirt. If it's a men's, it wears a kilt. Who gives a shit? If it smells good on you, wear it. But fresh is the sporty smells. At its worst, it's aqua velva. But at its best, there's some other things, but it's that kind of aquatic, salty, marine. It smells of the ocean. And a sports team. I'm sure the Cubs and the Indians, between the two teams, are all got a good collection of sporty, fresh fragrances. And they all smell alike, but God bless them after they take a shower. I'm sorry, give me a moment. I'm going to linger on that vision of the guys. I'm sorry. Come on now, you went there, didn't you? Okay. Anyway, next please. Woody. One thing, the biggest woody category is leathers. And people say, why the hell is a leather a wood? Because the smell you think is leather is not leather. Leather is animal skin. It stinks in its natural condition. The leather scent is added to it. What we think is leather has been around since the 1800s. It's what they scented gloves with back at King Louis, whatever his initials were after that. It was a lovely smell, but it was to cover up the stink of the tanning solution. So a leather smell, some people have said, my leather furniture, I got home and it smelled bad. Well, it was the chemicals that were added to it, plus the smell of the dead animal that you are sitting on. So I'm sorry, leather actually in perfume is a wood scent. It is a birch. There's several woods and trees. They roast the bark and roast it down and then distill it into a perfume. That's what you're smelling. And unfortunately, some of them have been banned now because they also cause cancer in small doses. So, but we suffer for beauty, so, and fun. So anyway, but these are some of the next one. I've created a separate category for celebrity. There they are. I will say out of that lot of the best ones, Paris Hilton and Queen Latifah actually make nice smelling perfumes. So if you've got a young person in your life, guide them towards it. Some celebrities actually put some thought into what they are interested in fronting, because believe me, they are not developing a perfume on their own. They are saying, I'd like the scent of summertime in Florida on the beach. Oh, that's called suntan lotion. Also Bronze Goddess, which I like very much this time of year when I'm feeling homesick and wish it was sunshiny outside. But various celebrities, that some of them put more effort, some put less effort, some of them are shit. Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, but I really like Queen Latifah, and I like Kate Perry, but hers smelled like plastic, even though it was in a very cute kitten bottle. And I'm a librarian, so I wanted the bottle, but no, I just can't do it. Next slide, please. Okay, there are some questions occasionally about what constitutes the difference between these categories. The eau de toilette, the eau de toilette perfume. Essentially, it is how much perfume oil is mixed into what is usually the base, which is an alcohol. And the higher the concentration of perfume oil, technically, the more scent you get. But the perfume companies are tricksy. And even though you think, oh, I want Chanel No. 5 in perfume oil instead of the eau de toilette because it'll last longer, they change the percentage of different ingredients in the perfume oil. So it smells completely different. It isn't just longer lasting, lighter, something you can wear in the office versus in bed. It actually could smell completely different because they change the percentage of chemicals and ingredients in the perfume oil. So sometimes try one, try another. They don't smell the same. They don't smell lighter. It's a completely different scent. But it is theoretically a lighter concentration of perfume oil in usually an alcohol base. Next, please. This is just some of those things only the French use because they gotta be fucking French. Eau Fraiche? Have you seen that in American departments? I haven't, I've looked. But those do exist. I will tell you, if you have allergies to stuff, the higher concentration is more likely to set it off. Also, if you prefer a natural perfume, thinking, I'll use something with just lavender oil. Well, congratulations. If you're allergic to lavender, it's not going to help you. So find out if something makes you go, your nose clogs up, don't use it in whatever concentration, whatever, they call it natural chemical. It's all the same thing. It makes you sick, ignore it and move on. And by the way, from a perfumista discussion board I'm on, allergies versus not liking it. Allergies make your nose clog up, your throat go, you break out in hives, and in one case, a guy I watched at the library died from an allergic reaction. That's an allergy. If you don't like it, tell us so, because we're, at least me, I'm a Southern girl, good manners, I'm not a doctor. Tell me it stinks, I'll not wear it to work anymore. That's what I told my staff. And sometimes they just leave me alone because I've got my own office and it's mine to stink up. So, next please. Okay, this is one thing that will get you because Christmas is coming. The ladies at the department stores are ready with their bottles to spray in your direction. But yes, they want your money. The perfume notes, the top note, also known as the head note, when they spray you, that's what you get a good whiff of. It goes, oh, that's so pretty. By the way, some team I think just won. I'm not sure. Cubs won? Give me a bag. I need your phone. Okay. Honor. Very good. Boom. I'll tell you what. You be my, hold it. You dude. You're a dude. Come here, dude. Go throw perfume across the audience. No, give him the whole bag. Make him throw it. Wander. Yeah, see, I throw like a girl. Isn't that nice? Let it be smelling good. That was fun. By the way, like I said, I'm not pushing them. I don't work there. They don't give me money. But Nordstrom's, I asked them for samples. They gave them to me. Bless them. So anyway, The top note. That's what you smell when you first spray it on you. And guess what? After 15 minutes, it's gone. That's it. And they put a lot of money into giving you that first hit, kind of like a drug dealer. But after that, it's gone. I would suggest if you're trying perfume out, try it on at the beginning of your shopping expedition because, next slide, the middle note lasts for 2 or 3 hours. That's what you're going to be smelling for a while. That's the middle note and the base note are where the money go. If it's a cheap perfume, either it'll stink like hell or it'll disappear. But a good perfume, it kind of blends out over a few hours. You know, just a gentle change. You go, I smell better than when I started. So, you know, you go forth, but that first hit is ephemeral. It doesn't last. It's like cheap sex. You know, it starts off good, but you still want to kick it out of bed after an hour. So, anyway, next one, the base note, the end note. Again, that's the fixative, that's where the deep, that can last all day. That's where the money really shows up or doesn't. And in Perfumistas, what we discuss, we sometimes call them scrubbers. If it really stinks, by God, for 6 hours, it's going to stink. Try lava soap. That sometimes gets rid of it, but not always. And for the record, there are some perfumers who gloat in creating stinky perfumes. There's one by Serge Lutens. It's technically honey smelling. Honey is good. Honey is wholesome. Honey is bees. But you know what? Honey in the wrong concentration smells like piss. And that's exactly what his perfume smells like. And he doesn't care. He thinks, this is great. And some people go, oh, it smells honeyish. And most people are like, it smells like you haven't changed the litter box for that cat you've got. So there are some ones that stink. But they're good stinks because, you know, sometimes in the right circumstances, underarms can be a turn on. Don't tell anybody I said that. Next, the costs. What you're looking at this little bottle right now is theoretically at this moment the most expensive bottle of perfume in the world. It goes for $1 million. Well, don't you see it has diamonds and the skyline of New York City on it? I mean, look at this. I mean, it's got 2-carat diamonds on it. Look. It smells like the same thing you buy for $100 at Nordstrom's. It's the same perfume in the bottle. You know, you look at it and think, why do they do this? You've seen those Victoria's Secret bralettes with all the diamonds on them that they sell for $2 million? They don't sell them. They end up breaking them up and splitting up the jewelry. It's an advertising. It's marketing. That's all it is. It's like, ooh, we have the most expensive bottle of perfume in the world. I don't care. Do you think Bill Gates or his wife is going to buy that crap? I mean, really? No. This is advertising. It's like those stupid fashion shows where you look at the clothes and go, that's interesting, but who wears that? No one wears it. It's pointless. It just looks good in Vogue magazine and no one cares. But next one, but just so you know, this is a more reasonably priced one by Bond of New York number 9. Because this bottle has Swarovski crystals on it. It only goes for $1,000. And you know what? When you look at $1 million, that almost looks reasonable. But a friend of mine, as her business, she makes suits for women bodybuilders. They're very small. And they have a lot of crystals on them. And believe me, there is no $1,000 worth of crystals on 10 of them. Those crystals, it's great marketing. The regular bottle goes for $375. That is a very expensive bottle of perfume in its normal state, but it's not unreasonable if you start buying perfume. I've never done that yet, but next PFD maybe. But there are women and some men that will buy this because it costs $1,000. It makes them feel special, which is what luxury selling is all about. So next slide, please. I added this in here because, well, I don't care what people say. Perfume is about sex. That's what it's about, making you feel sexy, attracting sex, or at least pretending you had sex in the last 24 hours. But I will say Marc Jacobs. This is a perfume by Marc Jacobs, and unlike most business owners, Mr. Marc Jacobs decided if anybody's going to be naked in my fucking commercial, it's going to be him. So that's Marc Jacobs, and that's his perfume. So I wish the bottle was moved a little bit because, well, anyway, there he is. I admire him. But I'm an equal opportunity, exhibitor. So next slide, please. This is Tom Ford. Yeah. And somebody asked me, did that get shown in the U.S.? Oh, yes, it did. And he does a lot of advertisements like this. And going, wait a second, that's her. Yeah. That's her pussy. But fortunately, no one in the ads yet is grabbing it, so, yeah. I had to say it. That ad is actually about 10 years old. So this is Tom Ford does that. But who the lady is, well, I don't know. It clearly is not Tom Ford. But this is a demonstration of really the ads and the marketing are about sex. That is what they are for. That is what they are there for. Next slide, please. I love saying that. I don't have a good visual, but there's a company, I can't pronounce it, La Tarte d'Orange, something fucking French. But they go for it. They have a perfume called Secretions Magnifique. And I'd like to read you the ad copy. And perfumers can go for the interesting ad copy. Like blood, sweat, sperm, saliva. Secretions Magnifique is as real as an olfactory coitus that sends one into raptures, to the pinnacle of sensual pleasure, that extraordinary and unique moment when desire triumphs over reason. Skin and sweat mingle and tastes of musk and sandalwood. And you know what? I'll give them credit. Their perfume smells like blood and sperm. Most of them don't live it, but this company, yes, they do it. And I'm proud of them. And they're French. Next ad. I couldn't find a good visual, but yes, one of their men's perfumes, they advertise with either a penis-shaped gun or a gun-shaped penis. I'm not sure which. I do recollect seeing an ad where the gun was firing. So, yes, I don't want to wear their stuff. It's a bit, come back when I'm 80, then I can be one of those old ladies that can get away with everything and, wreak havoc wherever I go. But that is what they do, and I admire them for it. Next slide. Okay, talking about wearing the more practical elements of perfume, which do exist. First of all, I have worn perfume that was 70 years old. Give it 15 minutes and it smells good. That top note I spoke of, the enemy of perfume is heat and light. If you keep it away from there and it's a good perfume, it can last for decades. There's no reason, to have an expiration date on it. Let it burn off that 15 minutes of the top note, which evaporates quickly, and it will be gone, and then you can smell what it really smells like. And I will say there's some perfume sites that smell great, and they sell vintage perfumes. Some of the Guerlains that are like from the 1930s go for over $100 a milliliter. Not a bottle, one of those little samples you get from Sephora, they can get $100 for it. And people pay it because it smells amazing. Which brings up something that's really horrible, but maybe when you were a teenager, you smelled a perfume that was wonderful, and now you went back and your taste changed on you, and now it smells horrible. No, it doesn't. They changed the recipe. They cheapened it because they didn't want to put as much money into it and thought they could sell it as it was. So after 10 years, the same perfume does not smell the same way. Emerald and Old Spice used to be really good smelling stuff. And by the way, Old Spice was a men's perfume from the 40s and 30s that smelled of carnations. So it wasn't a case of people being uncertain of their masculinity or femininity. They want to wear fucking flowers, they'll wear them. They fought their way across Normandy, who cares? I like flowers. But now, instead of a pretty glass bottle with a guy in a sailor outfit singing the Old Spice tune, now it's plastic, and I will say the guy on the horse was nice, but it still is wretched. I tried it, I poured it down the sink, I just couldn't even give it away. But they do change it. You'll see flankers where they adjust, the 2017 version of Chance, Eau Famille, whatever. They just changed it for a new audience. They added one ingredient. They took another away. It may smell good, it may smell bad, but it ain't the same perfume. So you can store it, but for people who say it smells different on me than somebody else, you have oilier skin or drier skin. 90% of it, that's what it is. Put a unscented lotion on and the perfume will linger longer, or spray it on your scarf. It'll really stick around, but you better like it first, because it's going to take dry cleaning to get rid of it. Next, please. Okay. I am not associated with this site. I do not make money. But if you're interested in the higher priced perfumes, you don't have to go begging from a department store to get a sample. There are several companies that people will go and buy a bottle and they'll sell you samples. This is one of them. I've used it with good results. So instead of buying a $100 bottle of perfume, you could buy a $10 sample and see if you like it first, because most of it doesn't make its way up to Anchorage, or some of it doesn't make its way out of Europe. There are several providers that don't sell outside of their Paris stores, and they're very good. But somebody in France will buy a bottle and send you a sample. So, especially if you want to just buy a little bitty bottle of Paris Hilton or one of the Kardashian scents, and don't give them a whole bottle. So, but there are resellers that you can investigate and are worth trying if you want to really expand your horizons. And like some places sell a beer sampler, they sell perfume samplers. So if you want to try like the Florals, the Leathers, a set of perfumes from the 1940s, they have them, and it's worth pursuing, and at a reasonable price. I've done it for like under $30, so just saying. Anyway, next slide if there is any more. I think I'm getting to this. There's a blog these days for everything. This is, again, one of the ones I use. I know about it. They do at least 3 or 4 perfume reviews a day. There are plenty of review sites out there to give you some idea of what perfumes consist of, what they smell like. If you like one, maybe you'll like this one. And it's not people from the company going in. It's somebody in Podunk, Iowa, who says, God, this smelled like hell. Please, why did I buy this? And they're worth pursuing again. So there are lots of review sites. Next slide, please. Personal experience. Once upon a time, 3 years ago, I got laid off from my job in Nashville. It was sad. I was grieving. And my friends decided we should go shopping. Frederick Mall makes a Christmas coffret of very large samples. This set cost $320 at Barney's. And I have it. And there's a reason why. Next slide. Because I went to the unclaimed baggage store in Selma, Alabama, where if you can't get connected with your luggage, that's where it ends up. And I bought that set for $29.95. Thank you. And all because the people at that store had no idea it was an expensive perfume. It didn't say Chanel on it, so what did they know? It's like, and I opened it up, it's like, this was somebody's Christmas shopping. I should feel bad. But if they could buy it for $320 once, they could buy it again. And I just got laid off. And that was a really good upper for that experience. So a lot of times, estate sales, garage sales, people don't know what they've got. Something has been sitting in a closet for 3-4 decades. If it's not been in the heat and light, which in Alaska is kind of everywhere, it's still good. So worth pursuing in unusual places. Next slide. To me, this is the tragic perfumes. I speak of these because there are usually little old ladies of extensive years that someone in their life bought them a bottle of perfume in 1962 for special occasions, and there was never an occasion special enough. And they never used it, or they only dabbed it on themselves, which is why when they die, I go to their estate sale and buy it for $5. On the one hand, it's good for me, but I feel sad for them because it's like good crystal in China that no one ever uses, that there's tons of that shit in the world and it's worthless. So, what I'm saying is, like your money, don't die with your perfume unused. Spray it on your love letters, spray it on your computer monitor when you're doing love emails. Go to bed in it, spray it on the fucking cat if he, but do not just let it sit there for some person to buy it in an estate sale for $5 who will glow and gloat and feel bad for you for a minute and then say how sad and I got your stuff. Too bad. Anyway, I think that is the last one.
Let's give it up for Marsha Buffin.
Oh yeah, I can see you.
Two thoughts. I feel bad for your cats. The next thought is, if I go and search penis gun commercial, am I gonna get flagged on Google? And second part of it, is it kind of like a Katy Perry video, like the California Girls?
A little. If you're at the library on a Muni computer searching penis gun commercial, it might get blocked and it might attract attention. Really, would Google flag it? Really, I've seen what's on Google. That's nothing. I mean, bukkake, I mean.
Rachel, do you know what that is? Sorry, I can't actually look it up on Google. Rachel puts blocks on the computer, so I can't look those things up.
Of course. I mean, I know that you have no control over that.
There's a V chip on it.
And you're over 21?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Questions?
I see a couple.
Over here, I've seen her hand up.
Yes.
How would we buy a perfume that has good antidote? Like, what's the guidance or advice for how to buy that?
What I would do is look at the perfumes in your collection already. What do you like? I believe the site is called, I can't pronounce it, Fragranta. It's fragrance with a T-A at the end of it. And it will tell you what the base note in it is. And you can look on that site and some others, and it will tell you other perfumes that have the exact same end note. It's just finding out what the end note is and then looking for others. There are several perfume sites. Fragranta is the one I know of. Also, I think basenotes.com is another one.
Elaine, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah. What are you wearing right now and why?
I am wearing a perfume from, it's called Philosopos. It is from, what's it called? It starts with a D. I'm sorry, I've had wine.
Delaware.
Yeah, Diptyque. Diptyque. It's available here in town. It smells of figs. And I wore it because I like the smell, but it doesn't extend like 10 feet away from me, and I figured there'd be a lot of people here, so I like it, but it's an office wearable perfume. You can come smell me now if you like. In fact, I think this is an audience participation
Go
moment.
for it.
Come here.
Come smell her.
Come smell. Come on, come on. See, it's still left after 3 hours ago.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Nice. It is nice.
Excellent.
Share with us, why is it nice?
All right. No, it's not overwhelming. It is florally, but
And I don't like perfume, so that's why I'm really interested. So it's got like a little bit of a soapiness hint to it, so it smells clean, but it's not overwhelming in any way whatsoever. It's
You could be tempted towards the dark side.
possibly, or maybe I wouldn't be so offended by somebody next to me wearing it.
Exactly. So it leaves you with a good vibe.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
See?
I love it.
All
Good
in
vibes.
it.
Good
You
vibes.
See,
All right.
we can cross the perfume aisle between non-perfumers and perfume lovers. There's hope for America.
Okay, let's do one more question.
One
I saw
more.
Jody had her hand up for the whole time. So,
I heard that Chanel used dirt in their development of the fragrance for number 5. Is that true?
It is not really true.
not really true.
Not really true. What you have, even back then, I can't swear to it, what they'll come up with is, I want the idea of dirt, not necessarily the smell of dirt. Because a perfumer is like, think of it like an artist. I want the essence of dirt. It doesn't mean I want my painting done in dirt. It's like, is this dirt on a sunny day? Dirt, a child playing in the dirt? It's more like the feeling of the dirt rather than the dirt itself.
All right, everyone. If you have any other questions, just in the interest of moving this along, ask her afterwards. Give it up for Marsha Buffin, everyone.